Favorite board game? Huh?
Oh shit! Well, so this is interesting because I've recently just started getting into like modern board games in the past like few years, I guess.
Oh yeah,
because everybody's played the classic like Monopoly or like Risk or like all these old ones,
the obvious ones.
But there's actually a lot of really cool, innovative new board games being made that are a lot of fun, and they can seem like intimidating at first of like, oh wow, this is like complicated, there's a lot of rules. But all you have to do is just like read through the rule book once, do like a little practice thing, and then it's like, okay, now you know it, and it's really simple, and you just follow the rules of like the cards or whatever they tell you to do, essentially. There's one that I like called Lords of Waterdeep, and I have the expansion for that, and that's really fun. And then my brother introduced me also to one called Terraforming Mars, which I've played a couple times now and is also really, really fun. But apparently, like getting all the expansions for it, like if you wanted to include all of them, you wouldn't be able to fit it on like any table. So like you'd have to like play it on the floor or something. Like apparently that goes like fucking hard. I'm kind of curious about that, but just play with one expansion at a time sort of thing. But
yeah.
Oh, and I played the Binding of Isaac card game like a few nights ago, actually. That was pretty fun.
Nice. So I'll say, this is a good time for me to plug this. Uno like contacted me and they sent me like this Marvel like version of Uno. It's Uno but with like this added element of like kind of characters with special cards, and they're all, Spider-Man, Captain America, whatever. And it's basically Uno, but you have special abilities too. And yeah, that was a lot of fun. It was actually a really cool game that they sent me. So like, thank you, Mattel. I really appreciated that. They just sent me it for free.
Mattel.
Yeah. They didn't say I had to make a video or anything. They just like sent it to me, like, cause they're like, we like your stuff. Here you go. I'm like, thank you. And it was Marvel themed too.
They're getting their money's worth because you talked about it on a podcast.
Yeah. So at least plug that. So check out Marvel Uno. But yeah, that being said, other games I love, board games. You mentioned Risk. I've had some really good games of Risk that go on, days sometimes, especially that Game of Thrones Risk. I don't know if you've ever played that.
No.
That's a lot of fun, the Game of Thrones version of Risk. It's just Risk, but, the lands of whatever they're called, Westeros. And it's really cool.
What's actually even also really cool about board games like Risk is now a lot of these classic things have like console adaptations. So I think we played it on the Switch or something, and it was just so much more streamlined because it's just
I played it on my phone.
Yeah, a lot of things that take longer when you're playing it physically are just like, it just happens really quickly.
Oh yeah. Yeah, like the dice rolls and like moving the guy. Yeah, it's like, it takes forever. Or like people messing up the rolls.
And then you don't have to worry if you're doing like an illegal move when you're doing it like digitally too. It'll just not let you.
Yeah, it just does all that shit for you. Yeah, cool. It's right, exactly. I definitely agree with you. Like, I like the automation of those kind of video game board games, like Risk and Monopoly.
I've been playing a bit of chess, just like on mobile, like if I'm in a cinch or whatever. For some reason, it's good on there.
Are you good?
Oh, I'm not good. No, like I never really played chess much, but I just figure it's a pretty good app for it. Like it's fun to go try and improve.
There's a good Steam game. I think it's called Tabletop Simulator. I'm gonna double check, but
it is called
they just have like it's just every game. Like you can basically not every game, but it's like enough tools to make your own custom games. So basically everyone's modded in their own version of Risk or their own. Yeah, I've played like custom games made by my friends, with these weird rules. Like I can't even tell you like some of the weird games like we played on Tabletop Simulator. But yeah, it's like stuff like that, like stuff they just introduced to me that day and like, oh, let's play it. And yeah, in addition to like Risk and stuff like that. So yeah, Tabletop Simulator's fun. That's if you want to play like games over Discord or Zoom, like board games. I'd say that's a great way to do it.
So I got two favorites. Liar's Dice. I'm addicted to Liar's Dice. What a game!
What is that?
Yeah,
it's a everyone has like, they start with 5 die and they hide them under a cup. And you've got to keep escalating the number, saying like, oh, 4 5s. And the next person has to say, well, 6 6s. And until someone calls you out for being a liar. And then you count up how many of the number that was shouted out. And you throw a dice in the middle if you lose. And yeah, it's just really fun.
Oh, cool. Liar's Dice.
That's amazing. And so is the game Boulder Dash. I played that a lot growing up. It's like you've got to like, you pick up a card with like a crazy word on it, and the word does actually exist, and you've either got to like make up as a group the definition of the word or what the word means or whatever, and try and convince everyone. Yeah, that was fun as well.
Yeah, I see it here.
You reminded me when I was very young. I don't remember how old I was. I was under the age of 10. My parents got Yahtzee, and I was like trying to figure out how to play it, and they were just like, no, you just like shake it up and then roll the dice. I'm like, okay. And so I was just like following along, and then I rolled the dice and it was all 6s, and they were like, oh, you won. And then we didn't even play a second game, and I still don't know how the fuck the game works.
Really?
Yeah. Apparently I got Yahtzee, and I still don't even know how to play. I have a 100% win streak on that game, and I will never play another. I'm retiring from Yahtzee.